Okay, guys, welcome back to a new video here. So, the President of the United States is making serious threats against Iran and the Ayatollahs. Okay, this is pretty wild stuff coming out of the White House. Trump basically said, hey, you're going to want to keep an eye on the news regarding Iran in the next few days. Okay, I mean, we're gonna show you the clip of it. I mean, it's absolutely wild the stuff that he's saying here. Again, it comes at a time where apparently Trump sent a letter to the Ayatollahs asking for negotiation. As far as I'm aware, the Ayatollah himself has not personally shown any sort of interest in negotiating. But again, Trump making pretty wild threats against the state of Iran. And I think it's pretty clear that there's probably going to be some sort of attack on Iran, whether it's by just Israeli forces, but the way Trump's talking about it, it seems as though it could be a coordinated attack between the US and Israel, which would be absolutely wild, put the Middle East into chaos. I mean, guys, Iran is not some small ragtag state. They got a wild array of missiles that they could be deployed on any sort of US forces in the region and obviously on Israel itself. So again, this is a pretty wild statement coming out of the White House. Here's the clip of Trump discussing it and basically implying, hey, Iran is about to get a nuclear weapon here. That can't happen. You're going to hear something very soon. Pretty wild stuff. Here's a comment. Here's a statement in the Oval Office. We'll talk about it in a minute.
I mean, think of what happened. Inflation. You have the war with Ukraine and Russia. That wouldn't have happened. October 7th would have never happened. Israel, they had no money. Iran had no money. Iran was stone cold broke, and now they have a lot of money. And that's going to be the next thing you'll be talking about is Iran. What's going to happen with Iran? And there'll be some interesting days ahead. That's all I can tell you. You know, we're down to final strokes with Iran. That's going to be an interesting time. And we'll see what happens. But we're down to the final moments. We're at final moments. You can't let them have a nuclear weapon. I think that I would have had a deal within 1 month after the rigged election of 2020. They were all set to make a deal. And then when I lost, they saw this person who's a stupid person, very stupid person. And they said, let's not make a deal. And they were right. He took the sanctions off. They became rich under Biden. They went from having no money to having $300 billion. All in a short period. It's oil. Oil builds up fast. It's a nice living if you have a nice oil well. And they do. They have a lot of nice oil wells, right? So anyway, it's going to be a big thing. It's an interesting time in the history of the world, but we have a situation with Iran that something's going to happen very soon, very, very soon. You'll be talking about that pretty soon, I guess, and hopefully we can have a peace deal. You know, I'm not speaking out of strength or weakness. I'm just saying I'd rather see a peace deal than the other, but the other will solve.
Okay, again, pretty wild stuff there. I mean, he's basically saying we can't allow them to have a nuclear weapon, and you're going to be talking about it very soon. And he does say we're looking, for a potential peace agreement. But the way he's talking about it, like, oh, you're going to be talking about it in the press and the media soon. The implication I'm getting, I mean, let me know what you guys think. I think he's kind of implying, no, we're going to do some sort of attack, and we're going to do something relatively soon. So, as far as the stability of the region, a Middle East war between Israel and Iran, and again, possibly the United States would be a catastrophe for the world economy. And frankly, it would be a catastrophe for just in terms of loss of life. I mean, it would be an utter disaster. So, not good stuff coming from the president. I mean, you can't be happy. I mean, if you're actually anti war, like he says. And it's interesting, he says the Biden administration is the one who didn't want to negotiate with Iran. Well, Trump, what he doesn't tell you is wait a second, he's the one who actually pulled out of the Iranian nuclear agreement in 2018. He's the one who did that. He's the one, and his decisions and his actions are of what led to where we are today, where Iran is on the verge of acquiring a nuclear weapon. So, again, and there's no question Netanyahu and a lot of the hawks in his administration absolutely want to go after Iran. And it seems like they got Trump's ear, which shouldn't be a shock to anyone if you've been following Trump's Israel policy at all. But to me, it seems like an attack could be potentially imminent. And by the way, guys, if you're enjoying the content, make sure to like and subscribe. It's super good for the algorithm and it helps out the channel immensely. And my Patreon link is also in the description if you want to help out the channel that way as well. And Amazon links are products I use. So, again, the entire thing is wild to me. I think that we are on the verge of something potentially catastrophic here in the region. And yeah, I think he sent a letter to the Ayatollah today, like I just said, which was not in that video clip. saying he prefers a peace deal. In my opinion, it's all BS. He's just saying that as a sort of pretext. The Ayatollah will most likely reject it, and it'll be bombs away after that. So the entire thing is a very tense situation. The Iranians have also been threatening some sort of attack on Israel as well at a time of their choosing in retaliation for the Israeli attack on Iran earlier this year in October. So again, it's pretty wild stuff. It's dark. It's dark stuff. And what happens next is going to be anyone's guess, but I think it's pretty clear there's going to be an attack and probably with American help, which, I mean, for a guy who campaigned on anti war, that's probably not a great look. Who hasn't ended any wars, by the way, just to be clear, on the Ukrainian Russia front, he has ended nothing. And on the Israeli front, he's openly urged Israel to go into the Gaza Strip again. And now we're seeing the rhetoric ramp up significantly against Iran. So, what a wild time we live in, guys. What a wild time. Again, make sure to like and subscribe. It helps out immensely. That's what I got for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the future. I'll see you later, guys.